Imagine a ledger. On one side, we have you. You have spent the last 5 years carefully constructing the perfect life. You've punished your body in the gym until you carved out a physique that commands respect. You've sacrificed sleep to build a business that generates 6 figures. You drive German engineering, you are Italian fabric, and on paper, you are the archetype of the modern successful man. Yet, when you sit across from a woman you truly desire, the air is stale. She is polite. She smiles. She answers your questions. But her eyes? Her eyes are empty. There is no fire. There is no urgency. You are interviewing for the position of provider, and frankly, she's keeping her options open. Now, look at the other side of the ledger. Look at him. He lives in a studio apartment that barely fits a bed. He drives a car that rattles when it hits 60. He has no accolades, no impressive job title, and no status symbols. And yet, the same women who treat you with polite indifference are absolutely addicted to him. They double text him. They cancel plans with their friends just to see him for an hour. They crave his validation like oxygen. This scenario drives you mad. It defies logic. It breaks the rules you were told to follow. You ask yourself, what does he have that I don't? The answer is going to hurt. The answer is that everything you have been building, your assets, your muscles, your money, is merely inventory. And inventory does not create desire. What if I told you that the very effort you are putting in to impress her is the exact reason she feels nothing for you? What if I told you that attraction is not a checklist of achievements, but a transfer of emotional state? Welcome to the Aphorism Archive. Today, we are not giving you dating advice. We are handing you the blueprints to the human psyche. We are going to dismantle the nice guy paradigm and reveal the hidden psychological mechanism, the ghost trait, that causes a woman to fall into a state of deep, consuming obsession. Warning, this requires you to kill the version of yourself that seeks approval. Once you see this truth, you cannot unsee it. Society has sold men a fraudulent bill of goods. From the time you were a boy, you were taught the transaction model of love. It goes like this: if I do X, Y, and Z, I will be rewarded with attraction. If I get the job, if I buy the house, if I get the abs, then the woman is the mathematical result. You view yourself as a product on a shelf. You think, if I just add more features to the product, more money, better clothes, more customers will buy. This is the fastest way to become invisible. Here is the brutal truth: women do not fall in love with your resume. They do not obsess over your net worth. Those things might get you a first date, they might get you a marriage of convenience, but they will never, ever create desire. Desire is not logical. Desire is anxiety resolved. Desire is the craving for something you cannot fully control. When you lead with your achievements, you are telling her, I don't think I am enough as I am, so here's my car/money/job to compensate. You are bribing her for attention. And in the subconscious hierarchy of attraction, the one who pays the bribe is always lower status than the one who accepts it. The man in the studio apartment isn't winning because he's poor. He's winning because he relies on his internal state. He is winning because he doesn't need external props to feel valuable. He possesses what we call the value discrepancy frame. Women are hyperperceptive to social hierarchies. But this hierarchy isn't about money, it's about need. In any interaction between two people, the person who needs the other person less holds the power. When you try to impress her, you are signaling that her opinion of you is more important than your opinion of yourself. You place her in the judge role and yourself in the contestant role. Contestants don't get chased. Contestants get evaluated and dismissed. The man she obsesses over? He refuses to be a contestant. He is the judge. Let's move from theory to practice. Let's talk about the energy signature. Imagine you are at a crowded lounge. A billionaire walks in. He's nervous, looking around to see who's watching him, laughing too loud at jokes that aren't funny, constantly checking to see if the women nearby are impressed by his bottle service. Next to him is a man with average income, wearing a plain black t-shirt. He is leaning back. He is comfortable in silence. When he speaks, he doesn't rush his words. He doesn't scan the room for approval. He is amused by the chaos, but not part of it. Within 5 minutes, every woman in that vicinity has unconsciously ranked the man in the t-shirt higher than the billionaire. Why? Because human beings communicate 90% of their value through subtext, not text. She is reading your energy signature. She is asking herself 3 silent questions. Is he safe? Is he sold on himself? Does he need me? If the answer to "does he need me" is yes, attraction dies instantly. This is the mechanism of perceived value. If she perceives that you are above her, not in terms of arrogance, but in terms of emotional self-sufficiency, she begins the chase. She feels a gap between your reality and hers, and she wants to bridge it. If she perceives you are below her, because you are trying too hard, bragging, or seeking her validation, she feels repulsion. Even if you are a CEO, if you beg for her attention, you are emotionally a beggar. The nice guy thinks that doing everything for her proves his love. In reality, it proves his lack of worth. The man who maintains his own frame, who prioritizes his mission over her mood, signals that he is a prize to be won. You have likely heard of pre-selection. This is the biological reality that women are attracted to men who are desired by other women. It is social proof. But most men fail miserably at this. They try to fake pre-selection. They brag about their ex-girlfriends. They try to make her jealous by flirting with the waitress. This is amateur hour. This is insecure. Women have evolved over hundreds of thousands of years to detect deception. If you try to act like a player, she sees a boy playing dress-up. True pre-selection is a frequency. It is the quiet confidence of a man who knows that if this interaction doesn't work out, he will be fine. It is the abundance mindset. Think of a man who just ate a massive feast. If you offer him a sandwich, he might take it, or he might not. He isn't starving. He isn't desperate. Now think of a starving man. He will do anything for that sandwich. Most men date like they are starving. They have scarcity eyes. They stare too intensely. They text back instantly because they are terrified the opportunity will vanish. The man she becomes addicted to has the energy of the feast. He enjoys her company, but he doesn't devour it. This creates curiosity. She thinks, why isn't he pressing? Why isn't he trying to lock this down? Does he know something I don't? Curiosity is the seed of obsession. You cannot be obsessed with something you fully understand and possess. You can only be obsessed with a mystery. This brings us to the most dangerous trap in modern masculinity, the validation death spiral. We live in a culture that raises men to be completionists. We build our identities on external feedback. Grades in school. Promotions at work. Likes on Instagram. When you bring this mindset into dating, it is fatal. When you need her to laugh at your joke to feel funny, you are weak. When you need her to text back to feel worthy, you are fragile. When you need sex to feel like a man, you are a slave. If your self-esteem is a stock market that crashes every time a woman acts distant, you are emotionally volatile. Women despise emotional volatility in men. They crave the rock. The rock is the concept of stoicism. Stoicism is not being an emotionless robot. It is being the eye of the hurricane. She might be chaotic. She might be testing you. She might be having a bad day. If you react to her chaos with more chaos, you have failed the test. If you react to her chaos with stillness, you have passed. Why is this attractive? Because it signals internal safety. If you cannot control your own emotions, how can you protect her? If a simple unanswered text sends you into a spiral of anxiety, how will you handle a real crisis? The man who is addicted to validation is a bottomless pit. No amount of love she pours into him will ever be enough. She will sense this drain on her energy and she will leave. The man who validates himself, who knows his worth in an empty room, is a fountain. He overflows. People come to drink from the fountain, they run away from the pit. Let's pause and look inward. I want you to ask yourself a terrifying question. Are your desires actually yours? Do you want the six-pack because you enjoy fitness, or because Instagram told you it equals love? Do you want the Lamborghini because you love engineering, or because you think it's a suit of armor that protects you from rejection? Most men are running a software program written by society. They are chasing success tokens because they believe these tokens can be exchanged for intimacy. The man who creates deep female addiction has usually gone off script. He has hacked the matrix. He pursues things because he genuinely loves them. He lives by his own code of ethics, not the one imposed on him. This is what we call radical authenticity. Authenticity is magnetic because it is rare. In a world of copy-paste personalities, the man who is comfortable being weird, being different, or being controversial is incredibly high value. Why? Because it shows he is not afraid of rejection. Fear of rejection is the #1 killer of attraction. When you are authentic, you are saying, "This is who I am. Take it or leave it." Paradoxically, the moment you are willing to let her leave is the moment she becomes terrified of losing you. The man she obsesses over is often the one who told her no. He is the one who prioritized his gym session over her last-minute invite. He is the one who disagreed with her opinion when everyone else was nodding along. He is the man who has boundaries. A man without boundaries is like a house with no walls. Anyone can walk in, trample the carpet, and leave. There is no value in a house with no walls. Boundaries create scarcity. Scarcity creates value. So, how do we fix this? How do you transition from the checklist man to the magnetic man? It starts with presence. Most men are never present. When they are on a date, they are in their heads. They are running simulations. What should I say next? Does she like me? Should I go for the kiss? Is this going well? This anxiety creates a barrier. She can feel that you are not there with her, you are analyzing her. The most seductive trait a man can possess is the ability to turn off the noise and look at her with complete focus. To listen without planning a response. To sit in silence without fidgeting. This is the deep water effect. When you are present, you slow down time. You make her feel seen. Ironically, by stopping the effort to impress her, you create a vacuum that she wants to fill. And finally, you must detach from the outcome. This is the hardest step. You must reach a place of outcome independence. This means you visualize the date going well, but you are equally at peace if it goes terribly. You enjoy the sex if it happens, but you are not broken if it doesn't. When you remove sex as the primary objective, you take the pressure off the interaction. You flip the script. If you are not chasing sex, she begins to wonder why. Does he not find me attractive? Is he seeing someone else? Does he have high standards? Now, her mind is working on you. She is investing mental energy into you. And the more mental energy a woman invests in analyzing a man, the deeper she falls in love. We have covered a lot of ground. We have shattered the illusion that money and looks are the keys to the kingdom. We have exposed the weakness of needing validation. But I must leave you with a warning. These psychological principles, value discrepancy, scarcity, stoicism, are powerful. They are the source code of human attraction. Do not use them to play games. Do not use them to hurt people. The goal of the aphorism archive is not to create manipulators. It is to create kings. A king does not manipulate his subjects, he leads them. The ultimate secret to female addiction is not a trick. It is a transformation. It is the realization that you are the project. When you become so obsessed with your own purpose, your own growth, and your own peace that you no longer need a relationship to feel complete, that is exactly when you will get the relationship you want. You must become the destination, not the passenger. Stop trying to be good enough for her. Start being good enough for you. Build a life that you are so excited to wake up to, that a woman is simply a beautiful complement to your reality, not the center of it. When you achieve this internal state, this bulletproof, self-sustaining confidence, you won't just attract women. You will attract opportunities, wealth, and respect. The man she obsesses over is the man who doesn't obsess over her. He loves her, he desires her, but he does not need her to breathe. Be that man. Be the ghost in the machine. Be the rock in the storm.